be any player on the team when he played for Tottenham, because he was a gentleman through and through, a Spurs player through and through, and what a captain. We've had some great captains down the years, Danny Blanchard, Dave Mackay, but Stevie P, he has to top the lot just because of what he accomplished and what it meant to be at Tottenham for him.
Yeah, just an absolute legend. And then, you think about it, speaking of another legend, Gary Mabbott, you think about how great of a player he was, and I think he must owe so much to Perryman for his leadership and, frankly, stewardship of the club. So, yeah.
They played together for 4 years.
They did.
The team in '82, and
almost 1,000, I think like 1,000 appearances for the club between the two. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and to talk about the kind of respect he had is that even today when they get the get-togethers of all the guys from that era together, whether it be an annual bash or a Christmas party or something like that, or even something hosted by the club, they still refer to him as Cap.
Yeah.
So it's something that's just so long-lived, and it was a completely different generation of player, wasn't it?
63 years old. Wow.
Yeah. It makes you wonder. One more piece of news, too, I want to touch on. The Academy. As most people know, or may not know, the Academy, our youngsters are over here in America, I think in Florida, playing the IMG Cup here in Florida, in the United States, rather. And they had an extra time 1-0 winner against BlackRock. Shayon Harrison, extra time winner. To give them a 1-0 victory. They finished top of their group with one loss against the United States men's national team under-17 squad.
That's what I was told today. Yeah, 1-0.
Yeah, I think that's what I read as well. A 1-0 loss, but they did still finish top of the group, which put them into the final, and they won that final today. So, as I look at the under-21 table, we're tied tops on 15 points. As I look at the under-18 table, I think we are tied second. So things are looking really good for the club. The youth system, Pochettino had come out earlier and said that Tottenham's youth system is the best in the league right now, and he was managing over at Southampton, which everybody seems to model theirs after, or at least envies in some way, shape, or form. So for him to say that, and of course he's going to have some bias, but you got to think that there's some weight behind that. So that's much appreciated. It's good to know that we have a farm system, I guess, if you will, of young talent coming through that, we're going to be able to grow some more Harry Kanes and grow some more Kyle Walkers and grow some more of these guys that are going to come through the system and
well, you can look at Alex Pritchard. He scored again for Brentford.
Beauty.
Yesterday, Brentford, third in the Championship, and I spent some time living in Bournemouth when I was in England, so I always look out for Bournemouth and Brentford, and to see those guys first and third respectively in the Championship, that's incredible. But Alex Pritchard, I remember in 2010 he was over with the Academy team. Spurs had actually made a bit of a cock up, and I doubt they'll admit it, but they really thought the super group in the Dallas Cup was a U18 group, where it happened to be U19. So they could have brought some older players, and they ended up bringing in some younger players. Pritchard was 15. Very, very small. I thought, this guy is going to struggle, but he would come on as a sub, and he made such an impact.
Yeah. And
he would run around until he was running to the ground. And I remember when they lost the semi-final to Cruzeiro, I think. He was crying at the end. He was inconsolable. It meant that much to him to be there. So I've always had to look out for him. He's platinum blonde hair, so he always stands out, and to watch him progress, and I know his name's bandied about in the press, and I hope to God that Spurs don't do the wrong thing and flog him, because he's another Harry Kane in the making. Obviously different players, but he's got that potential to make the impact, and I think it's great that he's playing at a club like Brentford, who's having such a strong season, and hopefully, and I haven't seen any of their play, but hopefully his goals and his contributions on the pitch are equating to their performance and where they are in the league right now. So fair play to him, and again to what you said about the Academy, that's fantastic news.
Yeah, that
absolutely.
is.
To give some context, right? This was a loaded tournament. Of the caliber of the Dallas Cup under-19s, and so here we go, lose 1-0 to the U.S. men's national team development squad, right? So you think about how how talented the U.S. youth system is. This country's very best collection of players, and we go down 1-0, and then by the way, win the whole thing. So and a name on that team to watch is this kid Ismail Azzoui. And his last name spelled Azzaouie.
Yeah.
He played Blackburn, I think, in the FA Cup Juniors a couple of weeks ago. Scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
Go look at these goals. This kid's 17 years old.
Yeah, he scored a bag full already.
Oh, they were gorgeous goals.
Yeah.
Too, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And to I think what Simon just mentioned. I mean, Harry Kane's success, right? It speaks to giving these kids time and letting them develop. And look, Daniel's been obviously very cautious about spending money. Maybe this actually makes him have a sort of cause for pause about splashing the big money around.
I don't know if it would really make him not splash. Tottenham is in a position right now where they have to be successful, and they have to finish. If they're not going to finish in the top 4, they need to finish in the top 6. Or 7 at worst, and for them to ensure doing that, it's not always going to be, I think, reliant on the youth. Now, chemistry goes a long way, and if you have these kids working with the team as much as you possibly can when their loans are over or what have you. I mean, I remember Pritchard being on the bench for a game or two last year, and I was really hoping he would have come in. His game is very tidy. He's a very good distributor of the ball. He is I dare say, a better free kick taker than Eriksen is. Some of his goals from free kicks are Pirlo-esque. And him, more than anybody else, more than Tom Carroll, more than Grant Hall, more than anybody else that's out on loan right now that has a pretty bright future ahead of them, I really hope Pritchard, as Simon stated, is the one that we really nurture and bring to, like, he is another Christian Eriksen, just waiting to develop,
Yeah, it's interesting because if you recall when we were in Chicago, Tom Carroll and name escapes me, Zeke Friars.
Oh, okay.
If you remember when we went to the open training, all the lads are doing their warm-ups, and he's got those two in the middle, and you can tell it's not a good conversation. I'm surprised he did it in front of us, but the body language alone said that was not a good conversation. I think it was right after the Toronto game.
Yes.
And they did not do well in that game, I must admit. So, Tom, I think we all had high expectations for him. Hopefully he's having a good time in Swansea, but I think he is probably going to get left behind, and like Zeke Friars, I think it's promising talent that's not going to make the grade, unfortunately. But I think Pritch has that talent, like Kane. They've persevered with Harry, and I remember watching him train with the first team first time I went to the old Spurs lodge. He was the only one out there with the first team. The first team's all wrapped up with their long sleeves and their gloves and their hats and their snoods. Harry Kane's just got a t-shirt on. I'm like, what a lad. He was 17 at the time, and I told my mate who was a West Ham fan, and he's always had the same opinion. Harry Kane is one for the future, and hopefully he'll be an England legend.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first one to admit he has proven me wrong. Last year I didn't rate him at all, and here he has proven me completely wrong.
Yeah, it shows you what hard work does. I mean, Beadle said he's the last one to leave every practice.
Yeah, and then it does. It really just lends itself to showing you exactly that. It's all about working. And like we mentioned about Carroll, he's 23. He's going to be 24 before this year ends, and he's rail thin. It's like his body never developed fully for this. But I know they like him at Swansea. I can fully see them just putting in the bid to try to keep him. It makes me wonder if in the loan contract there is a purchase at the end of written in there somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised, and we'll get a little something for him. And
Sure.
It speaks to the fact that these kids have lots to prove, and they play like it. They don't have the huge money that some of the established players have. They don't have the prima donna attitudes. They're fighting for shelf space, and look what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Well, guys, anybody got anything else?
I have a couple of people I just want to have quick shout-outs for.
Sure.
Start following a guy named Adam Osper, at Adam Osper, O-S-P-E-R. And I think he, in some way, shape, or form, works with loads of football players. He's an extremely knowledgeable Spurs fan. You know, he's in the frame with, you know, all the usuals that we've talked about before. I find his feed to be insightful.
Sure.
A guy named at Yedlin, Y-E-D-L-I-N, who this guy's outrageous. But he's a gigantic following. He's really funny. And then just a quick shout out because we're trying to get some big names on here. Darren Anderson and Charlie Parrish. Hopefully in the new year, that will be our first sort of marquee signings, if you will. So try and get those guys on.
Yeah, that sounds good. Again, Simon, thank you so much for being here. Again, he is the chairman for the official Dallas and Fort Worth Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Club, and you can find that on Facebook. Just search the official Dallas and Fort Worth Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Club, at Dallas Spurs on Twitter. We have Instagram as well, don't we?
Yeah, Dallas Spurs on Instagram.
Dallas Spurs on Instagram.
Yeah, I like to put the color splash photos on there.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys go in there if you're not already a fan of the Facebook page. One of the things that we were proud of, and we really promoted the page a lot last year, we have over 14,000 followers or likes or however you want to say it on the Facebook page. There is a wealth of information that Simon's put up there. Again, the Spurs Day in History thing was huge. Before that, you know, one of the things I had tried to do that Simon asked me to try to catch up on was player quotes, or, you know, from the past. So if you search back far enough, you'll find all those in the photo documents and everything that we have on that page. There's some stuff from the get-togethers, the matches. I think there's pictures from Chicago. In fact, I know there is. We just had our own little Chinese Christmas Dirty Santa type thing that we did. There's pictures from that. A lot of lovely pictures with the kids and whatnot. So it's an extended family of ours. All three of us are members of this club, and we encourage you, if you're not a member of a local supporters club network, to seek those people out. You will gain some friendships that obviously seem like they're going to last a lifetime, and it is very much worth it.
Ken, I just wanted to piggyback on that. You know, you mentioned earlier about supporters clubs, and it is always nice to have someone who's an expat. It's great for me to have a connection with some folks who are English, that live over here now, or have lived in the UK for a long time and have supported Spurs for a long time, because I can talk about the years past that you alluded to that you're catching up on.
Right.
But there's that kind of person nearly at every supporters group. Obviously, we're in forums with a lot of the leadership groups around the country, and there are guys from the UK, whether in their 20s, 30s or 40s, there seems to be someone English in every single one of these, and you know, that's the person that, you know, will help drive the club forward and have that burning desire to bring on new members and grow those clubs. So there'll always be that kind of person there. You know, you're starting a club up from new, then you know you've got to get the word out. But I think the network of supporters clubs that are out there will help any fledgling one grow. Take Arizona Spurs.
Yeah.
That guy reached out to me when it was him. And you know, I did what we could do through our page to support them, and they've just got their scarves. They got official status earlier in the year. There's a lot of them on Twitter that follow us, and we follow them. And you know, good for them, and well played. You know, San Diego Spurs is another one that comes to mind. So
Seattle.
They're cropping up all over the country, and it's important that we lend our support to help them grow, just like the people that lent their support to us. And so I want to shout out, and hopefully he listens to this, is to Ollie Wadhams. He runs the club that Bill made, Tottenham Hotspur, on Facebook. Ollie is a good friend of ours, digitally anyway, and he was an immense supporter of our Facebook page, shared us an awful lot, and I can't thank him enough for helping us get to where we are, and hopefully we'll meet up and have a pint one day.
Yeah, and I know Ollie's a listener because he tells me so. He listens on his way to work or whatever the case may be. So Ollie, yeah, love you, man.
And he's doing nights till Christmas support.
Yeah, he is working in dark tunnels. He works in the rail station or some shit over there in London Underground area. So yeah, when I go over in May, you know, he and I have already talked, and we're going to meet up. We're going to try to go to Stoke away together, so he can protect me with hopefully
protection up there.
Yeah, an entire, hopefully good army of an entourage to take me up there. But Stoke-on-Trent, like I said, I'm hoping to maybe see a real life Cyclops by